Hello,
Good
ladies and gentlemen.
news, everybody! We're back on the air!
He really had to do that tonight, too.
Yeah.
He just had to do that. Anyways, yes, we are back for another edition of the Voices of Angst, and once again, I'm Liam.
Afraid.
That's Mikhail. I'm Chris.
And I'm Amber.
Once again, we're
Be
here.
afraid.
We're here to talk about something that matters to us today, and I think our chosen topic is best explained by Amber because she
She
figured
has
it
the
out.
most opinion about it.
Yeah, she is
Okay,
the one with
well-
the opinion about it.
Except for Mikhail, who has an opinion about everything.
That's also true.
That's always true. We're not
I
even
have a
really
lot of
trying anymore.
opinions.
Yes, you do.
Anyways, so our topic for today is the school system. I think specifically post-secondary, but I also have some things to say on other education as well.
Work.
And how does that make you feel?
Well,
Dr. Phil at the table. Dr. Phil.
Well, I was thinking to myself the sort of things that would have been really useful to have in my high school and in my primary education.
Ooh, I can contribute to this.
Amber's sharing.
Amber has a thing.
Things
You
like
shut up.
how
I
to
just made
file
a
taxes. Like
Yeah.
you learn math, but it's like, okay, this is the stuff that probably
Don't they
never
actually have a
use.
subdivision of that called like applications of math or something like that?
Yeah, but,
Yeah, but
I'm
I
assuming you
took-
didn't learn useful
I did
stuff.
take.
I didn't learn
math
useless
out
stuff
of
anywhere.
It was
When
my
I
I don't
understanding.
remember learning
Grand
taxes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was not like
I
it
never
was.
learned
It was
taxes.
just, it was a dumbed down version of principles because basically it was for people who weren't really good at math, but
Yeah.
they were, need a little extra time on their math skills to get up to math principles 11, which
Oh,
is
well,
the
but
I mean,
minimum required
taxes
for most
isn't even
universities.
necessarily math. It's knowing what goes where. It's really simple math. It's like, well, you add this plus this, and
Yeah,
then you
the
subtract
mathematics
that.
of it is simple, but you don't know what
But
boxes
exactly.
to put things into.
So like something like that tells you, okay, this is what this means, and like how to read a contract, how to do your
Well, isn't that
taxes, how
essentially
to.
the point behind
or-
Planning 10, though?
Better yet.
Ah, what a joke of a course.
Okay,
know what
planning
was-
10, it's plan your meal plan for a week.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what
it was the
food
most
costs.
freaking useless
I'm a
thing.
kid.
And if you're looking for a
And
tolerance
how? Okay,
course,
honest answers. How many people's parents actually did that course for them?
My parents didn't do it. No, I
did
did
mine,
it,
and I
but
don't
I
actually know
bullshitted
what I did.
it because
I did
it was,
too, actually.
It didn't
I don't
matter.
even remember doing
Nothing
that in
was
planning
accurate.
12 or 10.
I followed
I don't
one
remember
plan.
doing that at all.
I want to go on record and say I followed one plan I made in Planning 10.
I remember the
What was
job
that?
resume.
No, I went and got
And
the
then,
job I thought I was going to get.
What was it?
Okay.
I
remember
said
I
to
had
my,
to do, like, a
on my
hate
Planning 10 thing, I
poster
said I'm going to go
thing
get a
or,
job
like-
that pays $10 an hour. 1 week later, I had a job that paid $10 an hour.
But was it related to your plan or not?
Yeah, actually it was. I said I was going to go work
okay.
for Long and McQuaid, and I worked for Long and McQuade for a month after that.
Wow.
It was
that's good.
Now
legitimately
you work at
100%.
Tom Lee, which is pretty
I
much.
work at-
I mean,
way
it's not
better.
the same thing,
Way
but
better. Long and
also
McQuaid was
music.
9-10's a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It
took that in
was.
grade 12.
What?
I took Planning 10. I started it. Okay, so when
Started
I took
in
it,
grade 10.
when I went into it, I said I was going to do it online in grade 10, which I signed up
Online?
for. Yeah, because I did it through Sides.
Oh.
And
So I did
sometimes the
planning
best
10.
laid plans.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I went on the
Science
website.
courses
Everybody else
take
was
me a
all like,
while.
"Oh no, we'll do it in grade 11," because that's when it got moved to grade 11. Was that year?
Oh, it
So-
didn't for me. I was in the
Yep,
same
Planning
grade.
10 got moved to grade 11
I was
for
still
my
in grade 10
school.
for me, but I was in the same year as you, so that's weird.
So it got moved to grade 11. So all my friends are all like, "Yeah, I'll just do it next year." So I'm sitting there with an extra spare block, like, "What do? I'm not doing any planning like you guys are." Because I'm doing it online, and I didn't do it for 2 years.
Yeah.
I finished it in grade 12 in a week.
Which brings me to an interesting point. The fact that they don't flunk you anymore. They just push you through until you get a high
Eventually get there.
school
You get an
completion
incomplete.
certificate.
Yeah.
Why can't universities do that when the money is significantly higher? Like,
Because
really?
universities are actually supposed to be trying to teach you
Like-
something.
Yeah.
Well,
High
yeah,
school,
okay.
theoretically,
high school
the
is the
public
place you're
school system's
sent
supposed to, too,
to
but they don't.
live
They just
until
push
you're
you
old
through.
enough
Let's
to
go
live.
to the
Yeah,
next
but you know the
grade.
thing about certain university courses is they still have it where, oh, you have to get a certain percentage on your final exam. Doesn't matter how bad or good you do on the
Yeah,
assignments.
It's
That's
all
like,
about the final
oh,
exam
right,
because that
yeah.
means you learn the
Which
material. That's what they're
is-
trying to do with
but-
exams.
what you can
But
do
I
under
mean,
pressure.
material, but you have to
You
complete
spend
it within
you
a certain
spend.
time
Can
limit.
you
Shut up.
stop
It's what you can
talking?
do under pressure. They want to know what you can do under pressure.
Well, it's bullshit.
Well, he has
especially when
something
it's
to
like-
say.
Alright,
Let the guy in blue talk.
No, but I was gonna say, like, it's not representative of your real. Like, you spend an entire
Couple of months.
4 months or 3 months working away on a course, and it all comes down to one exam.
Yeah.
That's retarded.
Yeah, it's a system that's
It's
been in place for
retarded.
years, and it still doesn't
Thank
work.
you.
It still doesn't
You
work.
could
Yeah.
you could do absolutely nothing in the course and make 100% on that exam, and there you go.
It's a pass-fail exam, yeah.
Or like I've done, you memorize everything for the exam, you forget it all 2 days later, and you got absolutely nothing out of the course.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
I agree.
Or like the stuff that
Like
they're
I
teaching
actually
you something
went into a
new,
couple of
you do
exams
really
when I
well
was.
on,
I
but
went to
you-
university for film school, right?
Yeah.
When I went into these exams fully prepared and flunked one. Everything else nailed it.
Oh, yeah,
like I
I
did
remember
stupid
that.
well,
And you
and there
had
was
to-
one
Yeah.
course.
And
one
And you
course.
had to really argue your case.
Yeah, I actually had to push my case because they really screwed this up on me. Like they hired a brand new guy I'd never taught before. He did not teach me.
He didn't teach. He did
anything.
not know how to teach.
The people who passed the course didn't learn anything from him.
Yeah.
They learned
Yeah.
it all from the books, and they learned it all from past experience.
Yep.
I went in and failed because I had no idea. I don't know how to work a camera still. I know. I'm looking right at you, camera, and I cannot work you, camera.
Too complicated for our
No,
minds.
but the thing is that I didn't learn anything from him about how to use the camera. What I learned from his class was that I'm meant to be a sound guy because I could already do all the sound stuff. And all the sound stuff, nailed. I failed the rest of his test because he didn't do anything on sound. And I'm like, that would have been the one thing I needed
Yeah.
from you, dude. Give me sound. I can do that. So here we are doing a podcast.
with video, which is technically a vodcast.
Yep.
Whatever, I don't
Well-
care who the vodcasting or bodcasting or fod.
Yeah. Like it's like I took
all
this,
the syllables.
I took this one.
all
like,
the consonants.
Now I have memories of my
Okay.
visual art courses, but it's like I took this painting course, and then I talked with the prof, sat down with her, and just like, yeah, I think you got the right idea, and talking about your paintings, and like, oh, you did, well, be original, because they always want you to be original. Like, look at history, idiots. There's nothing original anywhere.
Not anymore.
And it's like, and then I get my grade,
why I
final
listen to
grade, I
metal.
get a C+, and I'm like, what the like, stupid,
Yeah.
like,
You still passed the course.
well,
I
yeah,
didn't
but
even do
like,
that.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Painting. Yeah.
yeah, like, I mean, it's art. I mean, you gotta kind of explain.
Assigning
okay.
grades to art is kind of retarded.
Well,
I'm
it's
just
it's-
gonna go out and say it.
Yeah.
You know, you have to really work with a student one-on-one when it comes to
never
art. You
thought I
really
was gonna
can't
pass
teach
my-
it in a mass. It is kind of
my
stupid the way
non-public
they even get degrees in it, and they end up having useless degree, and they're all a bunch of hipsters. That's why art is going out the freaking trash can.
Why does
Anyway,
everything come down to hipsters?
Because hipsters
Yes.
are the cause of all the problems in this world.
No,
Apparently.
it's not even that. It's that
They
people are willing to
Hipsters don't do
try
anything.
to
Hippies do
elevate
more
them
than
to the
hipsters.
state of a culture. They are not a culture. They are
Okay,
a
Mikhail.
cultural movement, maybe at best, but they are not a culture. They are a commercial targeting
Getting
fad.
off topic.
They are
But
like
they're also anti-commercials, so it doesn't really work.
they're
as a-
hypocrites.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
They're the
being
ones
marketed
buying
to.
the
Oh,
organic.
they're being
They're
marketed
the
to,
ones
yeah.
buying
They don't
the burlap
realize they're being
shirts
marketed
and
to.
itchy and big
Yeah,
thick
it's
framed
true.
glasses.
It's
and
true.
getting
And they all
the
have their Apple
investing
computers.
in the indie artists, investing in Macs,
and their
investing
five
the
in
thing
and their
is-
$10 cup of
products.
coffee.
The
Yeah.
thing is, they're investing in things that are going to help people, like things like fair trade and organic. And I mean, I don't see.
No.
They're investing
They're
in things that
investing
are
in
labeled as
capitalism
those.
and
Now, here's the
No,
thing.
it's
Well-
not necessarily.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing about a lot of those things that are fair trade. Only enough of it has to be
Yeah.
fair trade for it to
Well,
be fair trade. It can.
it's
I think
still
the percentage
better
is
than
like 60%.
Slave trade. It's
Yeah,
still
but
better.
60% fair trade, as opposed to the
Yes.
40% that isn't. That's still 40% of it is slave driven, or
It's true, but it's a step forward.
Well, you
I
know
guess
what's a
it's
step,
a step
forward?
forward,
Instead
but-
of buying that $10 coffee, why don't you send that $10 to an adopted child of the Christian or Canadian Christian Children Fund or whatever CCF or whatever organization?
World
charity.
Vision.
CRTC.
Yeah, like
yeah, do
you
World
know.
Vision. World Vision's actually not
Yeah.
religiously based.
It's Christian based, but
What's
they.
something wrong with-
You just
Okay,
ruined Liam's
Sorry,
life.
it's Christian based, but they are committed to helping everyone completely, regardless of religion. They don't just help
Yeah.
Christians. It's founded by Christians who want to make a change, but they're the sort of Christians who aren't super fundamentalists. They're just like,
Yeah, they
hey,
aren't
the Bible
crazy.
says do good things, let's do good things.
They practice their religion privately, not shoving it down
Yeah.
people's throats,
Stop,
making it a
stop
public
that. Whatever you're
statement.
doing,
Sorry,
stop it.
there was tape on the table.
There's
And,
tape on the
um,
table. I know it's just a bad
Last
table.
week, Mikhail kept pounding the table.
Yeah,
so-
it was
We're
like-
doing better. We're doing better.
Stop that! Stop that!
Stop
Stop
it.
that! I'm
No.
going to smack you.
Bad, Mikhail.
Anyways.
But yeah, just the education system in terms of planning. All I remember is freaking doing your resume, doing silly work, watching
Resume
silly
is
videos.
good,
Oh,
but-
there was the sex
Yeah, the
ed
resume
lady
was
that
a good
brought
part
in
of that
Woody,
course.
and then
Yeah.
she
Oh,
brought in the
yeah.
mint condom. And then I think I
his
did.
health class became part of planning at
Yeah.
some point.
I didn't do that.
You didn't.
I didn't
I
do
did.
that.
They had a giant wooden penis.
I
It
didn't-
was
Oh,
hilarious.
that just happened in our class.
remember in grade
And I just
6.
remember her saying, she said, this is in no way truly representative of the male anatomy. And we were all snickering in the back.
Wow. Yeah.
You just
See,
haven't
I went to
seen
a
it yet.
religious school. We just sort of avoided sex. Sex ed just sort of let's go
Slipped
over
under
there.
the cover.
Yeah. Yeah.
I even remember
My
in
sex ed
grade
was
6
weird.
when the teacher
We had it in
took
grade
the
7.
tampon and the-
There were a lot of weird questions asked in my sex ed class.
I remember having it in like grade 5 and 6.
Yeah, I remember that
and
too.
maybe grade 7.
And
then
then I
in
remember
planning,
the teacher shoved
I
the
remember
tampon in
nurse.
the cup and it just, and we weren't supposed to laugh, and she kicked out a student because he laughed. It's like, please, you know,
What did he laugh at?
He laughed at
The
the
tampon
tampon just
expanding.
in the cup. It just inflated in there with all the water. Yeah, I mean, how can you, let alone a kid at grade 6, not?
I'm
Use
laughing
their
at the
shit.
way you're describing
Well, it did. It just anyway.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I just
planning
feel
10
My only
like, and
question
then
is why is it so funny to watch cotton absorb water?
I don't-
I actually have to ask that question. Why do we laugh at that? Like,
Laugh at
Because
what?
it's just cotton
Cotton
absorbing
absorbing
the
water.
way it reacts
it's a
is just
tampon absorbing water.
Yeah.
It's literally cotton
Yep.
absorbing water.
Yep.
Why is that funny? I don't get it.
just the way it kind of goes and just takes
Because a lot of,
it
a
in.
lot of
Because-
my friends just... It's like a
Anyways.
balloon. Woo!
Yep.
No, that's the condoms.
Those expand.
Well, anything inflatable seems to give us joy, except then you have that whole sexual fantasy of inflation out there on the internet. It's just like, okay, then.
What?
What
are you doing?
Anyways,
What
back to
websites
school.
are you going to?
This is
I don't
happening
know.
at schools. Do you understand this? This is happening. Your children are seeing this.
I don't have children.
I'm yelling at the
Liam,
camera.
you're
You're
peeking.
fine. Of course I'm peeking.
The camera
The
sees
camera, the camera
all.
is over
No, your
Oh,
levels
my
are
levels.
peaking.
Oh, I'll
Oh.
take that out of it. All right, sorry, folks. I'm peeking. I'm getting a little fired up.
You're turning into Mikhail.
Hey, there
When the
has to
topic
be
of
one.
sex comes up, Liam's loud.
Oh
Okay.
Well,
And but yeah, blending 10, like all
When it
Little
comes
bit
down
too-
to hipsters, he's
little,
loud.
little bit too much information
Yes,
there.
yes. Don't bring it up again. Don't bring up my trap card.
You activated my Alu card.
Anyway.
Yeah, but, yeah, and then I remember planning. I think we had to do like a poster, and there was like
You had to
know,
do a poster. Oh,
Yeah, tolerance
to
posters,
fit in
like,
your
you know,
Do we
class.
have to do a diorama or something?
People-
All I remember is like planning my budget, and I was like,
I don't
I don't know
remember
what
that.
things cost. Things
I
are
don't know
changing
what my budget's
cost,
going to be.
but by the
Oh,
time
your
I'm out
budget
of
is going to
school-
cost $3,000 a week.
I remember my parents
am I
doing
paying
that
for?
course for me.
Well, yeah, you go to them and say, "Hey, mom, hi, dad. How
Yeah.
much do you guys make? How much is the budget? How much is this? How much is
Yeah.
that? Now, can you
Well,
write all
and-
that down here?"
And
Yeah.
even then, when you're
Pretty
paying
much.
your bills for your first time or dealing with
Dude,
you know
how I
tuition
paid my
fees or
bills for the
taxes,
first time? I
you're gonna
walked
go
the
to your
bank,
parents
took the
naturally
money,
and ask,
handed the
okay,
money
how does
to my
this work?
parents and said I was done. That was how I paid my bill.
Yeah,
the
that's
first time.
pretty much. And the
It
thing
just
is, we
happened.
become
It was
so
easy.
reliant on our parents because we're not taught how to do. Like our parents don't have time
Yeah.
to teach us, and a lot of the time we don't really know what to ask our parents. And our parents, it's just been second
Hey, I
nature to
learned how
them,
to
so
fry
they
fish
don't
today
know
because of my dad.
what to teach us. They don't know what we need to know because they just think we know it all. And like school should be teaching us these things, right? But school isn't
I think
teaching us
that's
things.
really like the critical point there is that the school system isn't teaching life skills.
It's
And
teaching
it's
skills.
not even teaching post like skills you're going to utilize in university. Like I had
Yeah.
to learn how to frickin' do citations
Yeah.
in a class that I took in my
Yeah.
first
I
year.
learned
That
that in
was
English class.
second
I
year
didn't
art
learn that in
history
English
class.
class.
I had to learn how
My
to
English
do
12
all
was
the
a little underdeveloped.
citations.
I mean, I had NJ, so
And
I'm
I
not
did.
really,
Yeah,
know,
like
shocked,
they did not
but-
even teach you. I remember
I didn't
doing
learn
the
it in
AP
English
I
as
mean,
format,
my
well.
mom's
but
an
it's
English
like
teacher, so you figured I would know how to do my shit, right?
Yeah.
But I get into university, I had to take first year university English because I didn't know how to do any of this stuff. And then they're like, "Well, this is how you do academic writing." I'm like,
yeah,
I want to write for movies.
Yeah.
None of this applies.
Have you ever had
me.
to take a technical writing course?
Oh god.
Was that
It's
number 2? No.
painful.
Well, and because
technical
you're
writing?
taking technical writing.
No, that
courses,
was about incestuous
I'm
rape.
taking like
Yes.
essay writings and I'm
Let's
write,
not
like,
go back to that discussion.
theoretical intellectual paper. So it's just like
Second
you have
semester,
this
first
rift.
year university.
You
what
have
is
this,
your topic
you know-
in English class?
And that's the problem. In terms of writing, you have
Not
this
English, I'll tell you that
rift.
much. It was
In
not
terms
English.
of
That
I don't
what's
know what
got
Mikhail's
useful.
saying
and-
anymore.
No, I was
Sorry.
talking about a rift, a discourse. There's that
So you
favorite
can let
word.
him go and we can have our
A
conversation.
discourse
proper
in terms of
conversation.
writing, like, you
I've
know,
just
Chris
gotten
writing
into
his
this habit
papers,
of,
you're
like,
writing
he
film, you know,
starts
film,
talking, I
and
just
then
go,
I write something
"Nah."
else, and we're all writing different things. So there's like, you know, I mean, and the thing is, the university, they don't freaking or
Direct
school.
English towards you.
Well, yeah,
Well, they
like
don't
even
direct it
high
toward
school
what you're
English,
trying to
like
learn.
they
Yeah.
really like it was really stupid. And I took the LPI and had to take all the tests there. I mean, it was good for me because I kind of suck at essays, still do,
Yeah.
and yet I'm writing my honors. So, you know, but like it's just
I
yeah,
don't
like
write
some of the
essays.
skills.
What's an
that
essay?
I don't write them. I don't know what they are, but
I
apparently
remember
they involve writing.
I remember hating
I
them.
hated them in
I
high
gra-
school.
I never
finished-
minded them.
and now
I finished
I'm like,
first year
oh, I
university
understand.
because I wrote an essay on DSLR cameras.
Yep.
I still don't know the first thing about them. I don't know shit all about them. I know
Liam,
what
it
people
seems
think
to
of
me
them.
that you would do well on Fox News.
The scary
boy.
part is I would do way too well at Fox News.
Well, you can
Hey.
join the
Bullshit my way
Canadian
through
version
a
of
lot
Fox
with
News,
that.
which is Sun TV.
Sun TV, what is
Or
that?
wait,
That's
Sun Channel
that's
or
the
whatever?
Canadian version of Fox News.
We have a Canadian version of Fox
Yeah.
News.
Boy.
Where do I sign up?
Sun TV.
I could be an anchor on that show in a week.
Sun TV makes Fox News look tame.
Wow.
How right wing are they?
Very.
Wow.
They make Harper
they gave
look
Rob
like a
Ford his own
liberal.
show.
I want on that show. I'm sorry. I want on that show. I
Wow.
could be an anchor in a week. I could.
Wow.
I could be an anchor on Sun TV in a week.
You should make a bet and do it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Where do I
You have to
apply?
move to Quebec though.
Oh.
They're based out of Montreal, I think.
Screw Quebec.
Of
Let's make our own
course,
here.
that makes
Ours will be
logical
better
sense.
too. Our Sun TV will be better. It'll have blackjack and hookers.
And stripper poles all around.
I have a feeling people would watch that.
Forget the news
Of course
station.
they would.
It's news because you have a ticker running across the bottom of the screen with the headlines in it.
Yeah. Hey, we should do that. But, yeah. It's just in terms
Anyways,
of the
as I was
education,
saying, things that would be useful in school that we totally didn't
Not
have.
what we just discussed.
or you have it like where there's things that they're useful, but then like the price or like what you're paying for is just absolutely frick all. Like in terms of
How
visual
to
arts,
calculate change in your head, that's another good skill.
Yeah, that would be a good
Considering
one.
how many people
that's actually
from my
called
graduating class now work
subjectivity and
minimum wage.
self-examination.
Yeah, that would really come in handy.
I think he means money.
Oh,
Yeah.
I took the word change wrong.
Like you hold a
mean, like-
okay. If I were to go grab a handful of coins and I just held it in front of one of your faces, would you be able to tell me how much this is worth?
Well,
Eventually.
no. Like
I
what
mean,
I
it would
mean
take a while.
is when something comes out to $8.95 and you give them $10, what's your change gonna be?
$1.05.
$5.
95.
I
Oh,
got a
I thought you
five.
said
I was
85.
thinking
Yeah,
backwards. Wow,
But I
have
mean,
a
they don't
weird
really-
brain. The
Like,
problem
that's
is,
like grade one math,
I think
and then
you're
you
raising a
forget it.
point.
Yeah, because then
though
they
here.
start teaching you x is equal to this value.
And you're like, why is
times
there
this
an X?
Yeah, but that's
What
theoretical.
algebra it means
That's
nothing to me.
theoretical abstract mathematics, and there's even a
Yeah.
book that parodies that, and that's called Alice in Wonderland.
What?
Sorry, Alice in Wonderland parodies algebra.
Theoretical.
No, it parodies abstract math concepts.
Okay.
I don't know, because Lewis
One
Carroll
thing
was
I
a
learned
mathematician.
in math is
But,
how to do math easily by cheating.
That's true.
Like you don't want to subtract, you just want to add.
You know what?
You subtract by adding. It's cheating. To do it quicker.
It's backward subtraction.
So here's the thing, right?
Attraction-
There was
subtraction
a
on its
thing
head.
during Math 11, Principles of Math 11, that they wanted to calculate an area using parabolas and shit like that. And I'm just like, you do
That's
realize we learned how to do this as
calculus.
small children, where you just take this side, multiply it by this side, and that's the area of that space. We did it wrong. I still figured out how much area
yeah,
there is
it's
in
Yeah.
that
silly
box.
because it's showing you different
I'm
methods.
right.
Mind you, that's
You're
universal in
stupid.
that there's many different ways to the same answers in life. But
Yeah,
that's
there's a lot
another
of different
ball
ways
game.
to answer
But-
questions, and they don't
but,
teach
you know-
that in school. They teach you this is the way.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
Answer this question.
They don't
I
embrace
never learned how to do area any other
people
way
of
than this
variable
side times
disciplines.
this
I mean,
side
okay,
equals
let's
this
face
much
it.
space in the
Genetically,
middle.
I mean, not only genetically, but you have people who are good with math. They like numbers. They don't like dealing with people's feels and emotions, and they just crash into that. Yeah, like you can recite pi, but then when someone hugs you, you freak out. You know, whereas other people could take the hug and be like, with numbers, I don't know what the fuck this number's about.
We're listening to Pi now, ladies and gentlemen.
That's
Okay.
as far as
I
Good
banged the
enough.
table in
I
with
only
my
have
leg.
3.14159265. That's
I got 3.14.
3.14.
I got 3.14, and then suddenly I'm thinking about the cake bush. So.
I could just start saying numbers, and you guys would just go with it.
pretty much.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know.
But I actually know 3.14159265.
And to be honest, that's all the digits you will ever need.
Do you need that many digits?
No, but
No.
Well,
No.
he did for the courses he was taking, so he just thought,
No, I
memorize it.
didn't. I had a pi button on my calculator.
That's what you
that
used.
stored
Yeah.
far more digits than I can remember.
yeah.
You know
Well,
what I never
isn't
got
it
were
Affinity,
graphing
though?
calculators.
It goes
what kind
on
of
forever,
a
yeah.
stupid device has a graphing calculator?
We had to use them, I think, in
graphs
math.
stuff.
But
We had to use them
Why?
in math.
I
for
remember
certain
learning
questions. Yeah.
about graphing calculators and
Yeah, there
learning
was a
how
certain
to use
calculator
them,
we had
and
to
then I
use them.
never ever picked
Use
one
them.
up again.
Yeah.
Even
It's
doing college calculus,
basically-
I never used a graphing calculator again.
it's interesting because I'm
they
deducing
wanted
something
scientific
here.
calculators. And I'm
See, a
just like,
scientific calculator
That's
is
all you
useful.
need.
Yeah, because it's got the pi button. It's got, simple
cosine,
variables that you
tan,
can
yeah.
store. Cosine, tangent, inverse,
And-
arc
yeah.
sine, arc cosine,
you don't
arc
need
tan.
the graphing part
No.
because the graphing portion allowed you to punch in variables and coordinates and do all this stuff to make a graph. And then you
However-
just like paper.
However,
Yeah.
it is possible to install Ubuntu on a graphing calculator, as proven by Tony Bashi.
Oh, I
Okay.
want that. I want to get a graphic calculator and now install Linux on it just because.
But yeah,
Okay.
like when you think about it, though, it seems like there's this emphasis on being mathematicians, and the whole reason we have graphic calculators is because even the theorists don't want to have to do all the little smaller mathematical
Well, it's
problems to get to their
tedious.
big. Yeah, it is tedious, but it's always
But
this
we're not
emphasis on
theorists.
efficiency. Oh well, we should learn how to count
what I
change at
would-
very fast rates, so our customer sitting behind the counter or in front of the counter aren't bitching us because we're too slow
It's-
counting the change. It's
What
just
I would
It's
like
interesting to note that a lot of sort of genius level mathematicians and stuff like that have issues with basic mathematics, like
Yeah.
basic arithmetic.
well, even Albert
I mean,
Einstein.
okay, that's I
It's
guess
all
the
about
difference.
what- it's
There's
all about what
arithmetic
they-
and there's math, and they're not the same.
No, and we learned. I was happy with learning math. The second it turned into arithmetic, I got over.
Well, no.
Other way around.
Other way
Arithmetic is
around.
adding.
Arithmetic is like adding, subtracting, multiplying.
And
that kind
math
of,
is-
and math is
Oh, well,
like
see?
the
See?
Reading,
theoretical
writing,
bullshit
arithmetic.
stuff.
I don't even get
Yeah.
it. I don't
Yeah.
even get it.
Also, why do we call it math when it's technically maths?
Oh, good point.
Well,
Because
we dropped
singular.
the ematics and made it math, whereas other places dropped the ematic and made it maths.
Okay.
Mathematics. What's another X?
You know what? It really doesn't
It's
matter.
just a short name. It's just the short name for
As-
mathematics.
Yeah, but we
far
have
as-
Whether you add an S
philosophy,
or not is
science.
dependent
As far
on
as
where
I'm
you're
concerned,
raised.
as long as I have a machine to tell me
Scientific.
how much I owe somebody, I don't have to do it. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to. The only counting I have to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, and keep a tempo just like this, so I can play my music loud and play it right.
I struggle
all the
with-
time.
But
That's
what if I
how
drop
do
an
this.
EMP on you and all your calculators are done?
Then I can do this. 3, 4,
1,
1,
2,
2.
4.
Congratulations,
4.
you can count to 4.
That's all I have to do. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a
Okay. Anyways,
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
See,
1, 2,
music.
3, 4.
That's the
Other
way to go about
things.
math.
See,
Actually, I learned more about fractions in music than I learned about
Yes,
in math class.
Same here.
because the rest.
Same here.
yeah.
You have to count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why.
Even though
Like,
I still struggle with
In
it.
in grade 5, when I was taking
theoretically, I could do
strings,
it.
I was already learning about fractions and stuff, and I didn't learn about fractions in math class until grade 8.
You know what I never
Yeah.
got was understanding series.
Series what?
Series.
Like
Nobody did that?
Math?
Yeah.
Music.
Series
That was easy
patterns.
for me.
No, it was stupid though. It was pointless.
Yeah, it is.
What usage will that ever have? And it didn't have-
factorial.
In music theory, though, like in certain melody or certain chord, we'll have a pattern, and there's a pattern
But see, no,
theoretically,
you can,
but it's all
you
for
can
the
make the
construct of
pattern.
music. Yeah,
The pattern though is different when it's visual. When you're
Yeah.
doing numbers though, what's the point?
it's still visual, but it's
Learning
a different
patterns,
kind of visual.
like that's one thing. Like you learn patterns in grade 1. You learn it
Yeah.
in kindergarten, and then that's supposed to stick with you for the rest of your life. And then you start learning series, which is a sequence of numbers, and you're just like, okay, I really don't know what I'm going to use this for.
Oh, yeah,
But
and
when
then
you
they
look at
say,
it
like-
musically, you can see a pattern appear before your eyes, and you can feel it, and you can understand it, because music makes sense that way.
well,
it
isn't
just
it?
follows a
What
pattern
did
to make
didn't the ancient Greeks teach music, math, philosophy, and athletics or something?
No, it was science. They did a science. They did. They were doing astronomy back then.
Well, maybe they
right?
should athletics.
So that was the science they
apparently
did.
liked the Hercules type, and then anyway,
They
that's
didn't
another
do
cultural
athletics
thing.
because you had to do your own athletics in order to get
Yes.
to the Olympics. You had to be self-trained. They had a whole bunch of different.
And then they had
systems.
something with little boys too, but even the Romans did.
What?
Anyway,
Okay.
What?
yeah,
Priests,
ancient.
what?
There's a lot of ancient cultures that had a thing with little boys. It was just
That's weird.
Yeah, and then like comes the Middle Ages, and that's little girls. And then,
That
it's just-
camera just did something.
Okay.
So, Mikhail, you were talking about tuition fees.
Yeah, I was just gonna raise the point. Like, I took this one course on music composition. Basically, I had to learn how to get people together, which apparently is a very difficult skill when you think about. No, it's actually also very important because you have to keep in contact with everybody
actually-
and get them to meet the same location and work around their schedules
What
as
does that
well
got
as
to
your
do with
own.
tuition fees?
I don't know.
The course,
but
from what I got
have
out of
an
it, I
interesting
got
story
more
related
out
to
of
that.
it than I did, say, a visual arts course, which would be like $468 at the time, and the composition course was cheaper at $300 and something. And it
Well,
was
the visual arts
invariably
course has
more
supplies.
valuable and had more job-related skills because basically it came down to when you need people and you
Yeah.
need them together in the room to do something, a project together, you need to organize it. You need to get everything good for them. You even need to cater them and get
Yeah.
their little music.
And why-
I
separate
understand
for
the
them.
value of the course being more for you, but with the visual arts, there's supplies. That's really where the cost comes
Well,
in.
it's stupid because
It
half
is.
the time they recommend the most expensive supplies.
Yeah,
'cause
they always
acrylic
do. I
paints
mean, that's always the way to
are
do it, is to get the most
so
expensive equipment.
expensive because they're freaking popular.
Yeah.
Oils are expensive too, but they also have a lot of historical use. Watercolors are cheap and they actually require the most skill. So if you do really good watercolors, consider yourself a really good technical painter.
Okay.
And acrylics have plastics from freaking China. They're probably going to kill people. Yeah, oil paints made people go crazy back then, but frick, acrylic's gone its way now. So anyway.
What
Do
were you
carry
Yeah,
asking
now
him?
you got
You
your
had a
point
question?
out.
Sorry,
Chef.
Mikhail was talking
No,
about
not quite.
organizing people, and that just reminded me of a story. Why is it so hard for people to coordinate with each other?
Yeah, and respond to
Can I
emails.
talk?
I'm just adding to your point.
Example. Today, well, actually, it started out a couple of days ago. One of my friends, a group of us usually get together once a week to play around with electronics and that kind of stuff. So one of my friends texts me the other day and says, "What are you doing on Sunday?" And I say, "Oh yeah, I should be free on Sunday." He's like, "Great, let's go over to Clayton's house." And I'm like, "Okay." So today I text Clayton. I'm like, "So Clayton, did Luke touch base with you and let you know that we're coming by?" And he's like, "No, thanks for telling me." Can people not do this on their own? Why do I have to do this for them?
Oh,
We
I-
need somebody who can coordinate. We've been trying to coordinate this podcast for 24
Yeah.
hours now.
Yeah, well,
It
brought
could
it
have
up,
been
man.
earlier. That's all I'm saying.
Well, the
Yeah.
thing is that we didn't know what Amber's thing was going to be like
Yeah.
until today.
Well, and as
so-
soon as she
well,
said like
yesterday.
7:30, I'm like, okay, well if I get to Chris's place at 17, we'll leave there 15 minutes.
And
not that much
Mikhail
of a
needs to
drive.
answer his phone more often.
I'm sorry.
yeah, I don't know when this became 6:30 instead of 7:30, but suddenly I was like, well, I guess I can make it by 6:30. Sure,
Well, you did make it
I
by
did.
6:30,
Yeah, because you said you
I
might.
kind of
not
had
make
to
it,
Might.
so I was
skip
kinda-
out 5 minutes early from work to get on the highway to come home. But
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
I was out the door at 5 minutes to 6 tonight, and we weren't closed until
Oh.
6. But here's the thing: when Paul, myself, Josh, and Cy and Joanne have all left, and the only person left in the store is the manager, you go. You don't want to be the last man standing with the manager in the store. Plus, the
Wise.
manager was on the phone anyway. and
Why
the
are they
door-
going to make you do something?
Well, you never know.
Oh yeah, they kind of make you stay.
Well, the thing is that he's not going to call
a good
anybody
job.
on it because nobody was there. If Paul said we could go, then you listen to the most important person.
Okay.
Paul is the assistant store manager, so when he says go, you go.
Okay.
So I left.
Anyway,
Anyways,
Well,
yeah.
good thing you
That's
got it for
side.
me.
Yeah,
discussion.
we managed this one.
But yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's,
the
it's you know
politics
it's
of
amazing
Liam's
how
job.
much investment it takes to get people
Yeah.
in the same room. It really is
Oh.
a skill. It really is a skill, and that's the thing is okay. I'm gonna just say
Experiences with filmmaking will go. on
Yes.
this
Yeah.
one. Oh
well,
my god.
oh man, and our actress didn't show up, and this and
See,
that.
that's just
Our
it. Like,
last set,
you know, it's
the
important.
last time we shot, which was a bit ago.
Yep.
Basically, we came terms with the fact that everything we learned in university actually really should have been taken care of in advance. Have all the equipment together, have all that stuff figured out in
Yeah.
advance, and have everybody locked down.
Well, we had an actress locked down. She just didn't show up.
Which
For
doesn't happen as
whatever
often as
reason.
you think.
It happened a lot at school. But no, the story I had was I'm trying to organize a fundraiser for when I go off to Africa for the school. So I run a youth group on Friday nights. Now, 2 weeks ago, we started talking about hosting a dinner. The next week, I said, okay, we're going to pick a date. We're going to pick this and that. And so they picked the date Monday the 3rd, which is the next
Tomorrow.
2 days.
But
Yeah. So we were talking about it, and they didn't pick a menu then. So I was thinking, okay, well, I'll talk with them next week. But I realized, oh, wait, my mom has booked me for the entire weekend for a conference. Okay. So I talked to the person who runs the group with me, and I asked him very specifically, okay, I need this, 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 and this from them. So can you do this? And he said, yeah, okay. So I texted him today because he didn't get in touch with me after last night. So I texted him and I said, okay, what's the menu? And he said, well, they want to do this and that and this as side dishes, but they haven't picked a main dish yet. They're going to talk about it today. You should get in touch with them. I don't actually have any of the kids' information. I have the parents' emails, but the parents get grouchy at me for not knowing what's happening with their kids. So I had to try and Facebook the 3 out of 7 kids that I have on Facebook and be like, can you pass the message on to all these other people? Because they're supposed to be bringing this item and that item, and who's bringing this? Because apparently this is a thing, and what's our main dish? Oh, we don't have a main dish? We're just doing soup? Okay, I guess so. But it's what they want to do.
Yeah,
so.
communication.
I have nothing to do with this.
It's really a vital skill. And the thing is, too,
With all the
like,
communication technology that we have, you'd think we could get
Exactly.
people to use it.
Well,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, it's like if you have profs and you send them an email and then, then they post
They
something
don't
on
respond.
Facebook, but they don't get back to your email. And it's just like, I'm so tempted to say, hey, can you,
Yes, that's a huge thing. I would like people to respond to me in the same electronic form of communication that I initiated the request. If I'm texting you, then please text me back. Don't send an email.
Yeah,
Because I'm
that
not
Facebook.
looking for that.
Yeah. Well, if I email
That's like
someone
when you
and
texted me,
I'm
I
out and they text me, that's different. But
Oh,
if I
yeah, I
text
forgot
someone and
to-
they email me, I'm probably not at a computer.
Yeah.
I mean, if they call me to be quick about it, fine. But
The thing that amuses me is when even at any level you're trying to organize something, and one person you're in touch with on Facebook, another one you're texting,
Yeah.
and the last one you're emailing, and they're corresponding in other ways completely. And you find out one person's using Twitter, and nobody and their secret is on Twitter.
And then there's the one guy using smoke signals.
why?
Or you
Where did
call
you get
people,
that fire pit anyway?
or you call people and they can't give you a definite answer.
or when you call people and they don't answer their phone when they've said, "Call me."
Yes.
Mikhail.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Sorry.
there are so many people out there like
Called
that.
my best friend twice. She says, oh, sorry, I missed your call. My phone was away. I'll answer now. Call her again. She doesn't answer.
But when we call her on my phone,
Then
she
she
answers
answered.
right away. I
Maybe
don't
she
know
has
if
the hot sphere.
No, she
just,
doesn't.
Story-
just project all these dynamics.
This happens to me all the time at work. Someone submits a ticket and says, oh, I have blah, blah, blah wrong with my computer. My phone number is da-da-da. You call them 5 minutes later and they don't pick up the damn phone!
Yeah.
Maybe they went on a
I
coffee
love
break.
people. People are f***ing stupid.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to
Anyways.
not banging the table?
Yeah.
I'm the only one who
Damn
likes
God,
the
it's
table.
Whatever
Excited.
happened
It's
to
in his
talking
right.
about school?
School is the same as every other aspect
We
of life
digressed a little
with
bit.
one
Well,
problem.
Well, because
A
school
you
lot
don't
of it.
learn
so-
anything about real life from school.
It's
Although
true.
you learn that people
Done.
are stupid, as evidence in high school
Yes.
students.
You
Actually,
learn
people
that
say
no-
Wednesday song of the week!
I like him.
I still have more to say about school.
You always have more to say about school.
Okay, spill.
Go
Spill.
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, well, the other things I was going to say is, like, basics of being a decent person. Like, if you're talking in elementary school, oh, no, we can't teach religion. Well, can you teach them, morality, virtues?
And tolerance.
Tolerance.
But not tolerance to the point of being anal Nazi tolerance of, oh, you have to be kind as person. Well, I can be tolerant, but I don't have to accept if they're being an idiot.
Mikhail met his quota. He mentioned Nazis.
Yeah, I'm a little confused how Nazis and tolerance fit into one sentence.
Yeah, but you have these
can do
people
it.
who are so tolerant or so into promoting tolerance that
Okay.
they bash you for any discrepancy
Okay.
or doubt that you
Oh,
have.
I know people like that.
Yeah,
I
like-
know people like that.
I-
But
I
no,
think we're
just
good.
you just have to be like, basic tolerance. Like, okay, does this bother you when this person does this to you? Then don't do it to them. Makes sense. And like,
Self-examinative,
Parents should be
reflective.
well, it is what parents should be teaching, but the thing
But they're
is,
not.
Not all parents. It depends
well,
on the
some parents are, and some kids end up great. But the thing is, a lot of parents use school as a babysitter, and then they get grouchy at
Yes.
teachers for
Or
not
they use
teaching
the
them what they
television.
want. But the thing is, school should just be an extension of everything else we're learning. We should be learning consistent things. Like, if we're learning how to be a decent person at school and learning how to be a decent person at home, then we're going to probably be decent people. But if what we're being taught is conflicting with other things we're being taught, where do we find a balance?
We do have a consistency, though, but it's within certain other things where, the children are expected to be, you could say, there's little to no consistency in encouraging people to try things out and experiment. It's almost frowned upon, like in the visual arts, me bringing it back to school. It's like, we couldn't experiment for ourselves. We had to be original. But if we did something that was, look like someone like Vince Van Gogh did stuff like that. Well, hey, I found someone I have to research or whatever, it's just, I don't know. It's silly, It's like
for those watching the episode and wondering why we're all snickering and smiling, it's because someone just walked in.
Yeah, my brother just walked into the house and went upstairs and sort of gave us a look like, ugh. Anyways, I think we should digress from here and go into Song of the Week.
No.
I just have one more thing.
Yes. And that one more thing will lead to another more thing. Well, and then you'll get him started again.
Okay, I won't deny it'll probably get him started. But the other thing is, with the huge increase in mental health problems in youth, and the fact that that's really become a thing, dealing with stress and talking about effective ways of coping with stress, how to relax, how to give yourself the time that you need, because so much of school is ridiculously overly structured in ways that don't make learning worthwhile, and in ways that take away.
It's not even
what we want to
makes
learn.
learning worthwhile. It stresses the shit out of you because it puts all this priority on
the wrong
on this one test.
All the focus is on grades rather than on actual learning. And
well, how do you
assess learning rather than
I was going to say in
grades?
fairness.
Basically, it's one-on-one.
Here's the thing.
We don't have the
everybody
teachers for
could
that.
have a mentor, like one person they followed and did everything together. Like that's the thing where I look into families that a father's been doing something for years and then he teaches his son how to do it and then his son goes in to do it. Like, I actually work with two guys like that right now. I got Vance and Eric, and Vance Anderson has been moving piano since he was 16 years old.
Yeah.
The guy's in his late 50s now. He still moves pianos for a living. His son is 23, I think, 22, 23 years old. Moves pianos with his dad. He's been doing that since it was Dave's Keyboards. It's been about 6 years since it was Dave's Keyboards. But he's been doing this with his dad since before then. Like, he learned to do it through him, and he's turned into a great person. They're not the same.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be the same.
Of course not.
But it's better than going to school for it.
Well,
because he's happy in what he does.
Yeah, and if you can find someone who can mentor you, that's great.
But then you have the flip side where you have people who,
don't teach well.
Or they nurture you in such a way that you see as being on welfare your lifelong dream. And I'm thinking that kind of needs to change. Anyway, that could be our next topic, maybe.
It's welfare system.
But it's just, it's, and to some extent, it's, and then there are some naturally just people who are selfish little prigs who all they care about is themselves, and they just have a deluded sense of themselves, like the majority of hipsters.
It's not necessarily something that they're born with, though. It's something that they're taught, and that's very much where, being spoiled in your home life or being spoiled in school.
Oh, don't get me started on this Generation Y stuff.
No, I'm not saying
what
it's
is Generation
generational.
Y?
I'm
it's
saying
basically
it's
a bunch of seniors saying, okay, quit feeling like you're special. Well, sorry, we're brought up on Disney movies and encouraged to be, follow our dreams and whatnot. Doesn't mean, our dreams are not realistic or not. You basically, it's saying I don't know. It's really
all the
stupid.
Senior citizens are sitting on buttloads of money they make off oil companies, and they say to us, "Stop."
No,
I'm kidding.
No.
Okay.
He's generalizing. He's pulling a
Some
Mikhail.
senior citizens
Okay.
However,
enough.
No.
You made your point.
I remember last week.
The pensions are disappearing. There is no money for seniors.
And I was getting at the
I
point.
can yell too.
Okay, I hereby digress. This is the song of the week because
Song of the week. Spinning bird kick. That's my reference. You will get it.
I don't understand what he's saying.
I don't either.
Well, I understand what he's saying. I don't understand why he's saying it or what it relates to.
It relates to my song of the week. It'll come up.
No, it's not.
Here's
But
the song of the
you
week.
said it last week too.
No.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, did he?
I don't know. I
Went
don't
right
remember
before
that.
we went off air in the middle of the podcast.
This time it relates to my song of the week.
So,
moving onward, please.
Okay. What's your song?
Spinning bird kick.
That is your song of the week?
You'll get it.
No, we
Tell
won't
us your
get
song
it.
of the week.
explain it.
Tell us.
Introduce it.
Spinning bird kick.
That is the song of the week? Is that the song of the
Can you
week?
explain?
Mikhail's song
Yes.
of the week is Spinning Bird Kick by artist unknown.
To everybody for freaking
Alpha
the heck out.
2.
Sorry I freaked out.
the
It was not
spinning
cool of me to freak out.
bird
I
kick.
now need to say, though, I'm going to freak out if he continues on this path, and I have no idea where it's going. So,
Spinning.
Okay.
Liam, go.
my song of the week this week is Woman by Wolfmother.
No, silence itself.
So for this week's
Lack
song
of
of the
sound.
week, I'm going to go ahead and since we've been talking so much about iNet, I'm going to choose an original iNet composition, and that is the iNet Countdown theme composed by Mikhail Bush.
I feel like I need to compose something for iNet now.
No, it's my job.
Whoa.
Anyways, I guess I'm gonna go with the one that I wanted to pick last week, but had already picked something else. Once We Were Anarchists by Frank Turner.
Demonstrations got boring. Well, it was obvious that the government was ignoring us. It's hard to drag yourself through empty streets on an empty stomach and no sleep. The shortcomings got clearer as the price we paid got dearer and dearer. Supposed to be a case of give and take. Well, I was feeling the give and making the mistake. And I've heard it said that the unexamined life isn't much worth living, and I'm sure they're right. But it's hard to keep on fighting the good fight.
You did Frank Turner last week, didn't you?
No,
she
I
used the
did
song Riot.
3 Days Grace.
Oh, right. You went with
Totally
Riot.
different.
Speaking of which, everyone should send me their song of the week
Oh,
links because
yeah.
I'm starting to
Yeah,
edit the podcast.
Yeah, I'll
I
send
sent
that.
you mine from last
Yes.
week.
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
You
we'll send
always
ours-
send
we'll
yours.
send
I'm
ours.
reliable that way.
I think mine was Everything Fades
Yes,
to
you're a
Grays
good
last
boy.
week, so yeah, I'll
I
send that
know,
to you.
I'm
and
too subservient to no
Send you mine from this week. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that was another successful podcast. Voices of Angst. I say successful.
Successful.
loosely.
Be
Loose.
afraid.
Very loose.
Be
Our
very
podcasts are getting
afraid.
longer, I've noticed. It's getting harder to edit, 2 of them into a 1
Then we should have a
hour long
time limit,
programming
and then we
block.
should have like a
Yeah.
beep,
Eh.
and we should have like a beep to indicate the length of the podcast, and then like another. That we
Okay,
know it's
we're
song
done,
for-
right?
We're done.
We're done.
We're done.
Okay, thank
Cut.
you. Bye.